Good evening, everybody. My name is Noriaki Nakayamada from NuFlare Technology. My talk today is Curvilinear MPC in zero time, but zero time is probably a little too much exaggerating. This is, meaning is zero additional turnaround time. So, I think many of you know what happened to VSB in the last 5 years. Did I lose? Okay. After ILT, inverse lithography technology introduction, pattern is not Manhattan anymore and very complex and curvilinear. And to write this curvilinear pattern, VSB writer has to use many rectangle shots. And write time got too long. But thanks to IMS and the lead by Frank Abudu-san and your future vision, introduce new multi-beam technology to fix or solve the write time issue of VSB. And write time is not an issue anymore because figure was switched to pixel-based data processing. And mask writer has already experienced this transition from figure-based handling, data handling, to pixel-based data handling. So the point of my talk today is why not doing the same thing in MPC world? And here I summarize the advantage of multi-beam mask writer. Later, I will compare the same thing for offline MPC and inline MPC, but let me start from the comparison between single VSB and multi-beam. And the point is throughput, accuracy, and dose control. In case of VSB, write time goes up exponentially as pattern get complex, but in case of multi-beam, write time stay constant because pixel count is constant. Accuracy-wise, single beam VSB has a phenomenon called resist heating effect and stitching problem, but multi-beam uses many number of beams, so each beam current is very low to avoid heating effect, and it can use more multipass writing to get less stitching error and position accuracy. And finally, dose control was, in case of VSB, exposure dose has to be controlled shot by shot. So if you want very fine control, you have to use very small shot and even aggravating the write time issue. But multi-beam case, the pixel dose can be controlled at 16 nanometer beam level. This is MBM 2000 case. And it opened the door for the writer to do inline mask process correction. And here is the conventional data path, starting from LSI design. And as Aki-san mentioned, it is Manhattan now. And after OPC, it gets curvilinear pattern, but it's still piecewise linear polygon. And doing MPC sometimes even makes it worse. The figure count even larger. So that figure count issue is happening here in MPC and in the inline data path of MBM, multi-beam mask writer. And finally, figure count was, all figures are converted to bitmap and sent to writing. But if MPC is using pixel-based data handling, then why not moving this one to here is a basic idea. So before talking about that idea, I should not skip this solution number one to introduce a new curve format worked by, again, lead by Frank Abudu-san and Jin Che-san in Samsung and Damping Pan-san in TSMC and GMS, Peter Buck-san. I heard a rumor that Peter-san recently retired. Do you know? So unlike Hayashi-san's case, I regret I could not say goodbye to him. But anyway, new curve format is now being wrapped up and soon become a public format next month, I heard. And we have a new data format, MF 2.0, which uses B-spline expression to express curvy shape boundary. But still, it's leaving MPC figure count and or processing time issue. So our proposal is to move model-based MPC to writer's inline Datapath to do both rasterization and mask process correction. We call it as a PLDC, pixel level dose correction. Pixel data has to be made anyway, so why not using that constant pixel for MPC? That's a basic idea. And here the comparison of offline figure-based MPC versus inline pixel-based PLDC. As pattern gets complex, figure count increases, similar as the shot count increase of BSD writer, MPC time may go up very long. But inline case, MPC can be processed in the background of writing, and pixel count is constant, so there is no additional TAT. And about convergence, offline MPC may have more degree of freedom in size and dose control. This is good in terms of having more combinations of solutions, more accurate solutions, but it often requires more iterations and longer calculation time. Whereas inline MPC, since beam size is fixed, it loses 1 degree of freedom, but it makes iterations less and enables to keep the calculation time within the machine writing time. And about dose control, exposure dose has to be controlled by figures. This is another drawback of VSB, but in case of inline-based MPC, because inline MPC knows the exact beam grid, it can give precise dose to the pixels and do more MPC things. I will explain using several slides. So PLDC works in pixel domain instead of geometry domain. And the benefit of PLDC is fine dose control by 16 nanometer pixels, and improved process margin and pattern fidelity by edge dose enhancement. And finally, no additional turnaround time for MPC. And this figure I showed in 5 years ago in the same eBeam initiative panel. And this is comparing the corner rounding of curvilinear pattern without PLDC and with PLDC. And I think it was again Frank Abudo-san. This is visually looking good, but more quantitatively, what's the benefit of PLDC? I got that question from him. And so we worked, let's skip this one. We worked on this C pattern and created, evaluated with and without PLDC and compared the edge placement error against size of the C, width of the C. And without PLDC, the edge placement error gets worse as the size of the C shrink. But with PLDC, it can keep relatively constant EPE within the edge roughness margin. And but this result is also questionable because if each condition, if you adjust those to print, then maybe no PLDC can get this level of EP accuracy. So we even advanced the evaluation pattern to use a sine wave pattern. And in case of a sine wave, the amplitude can be a good indicator of pattern fidelity. So this is a theoretical expression of sine wave amplitude transfer ratio. This expressed by the period of the sine and blur of the beam and process and others. And we define this as information transfer ratio and evaluate it for a bunch of process conditions. This is the result. Horizontal axis is a period of sine wave, and vertical axis is image transfer ratio or amplitude preservation ratio from design to actual. And this curve is a theoretical curve or a fitting of the experimental data using this H-bra assumption. H-bra is a combination of quantization bra, which we name sigma gray, and beam bra resolution, and process bra. And we add PLDC as a negative factor to make it smaller. So this yellow curve or orange curve is showing low dose resist case with about 30 microcoulomb per square centimeter. In Thursday, in my talk, we will show that this curve mainly stays same because this process bra is dominant. And but for low sensitivity resist, high dose resist case, about 130 microcoulomb per square centimeter, actually this process bra gets smaller, so you can clearly detect the improvement by PLDC from this red curve to blue curve. And yes, so this sine wave pattern is more robust against dose adjustment thing. It is more robust against overdose or underdose or over-etched or under-etched conditions. So this is a good metric to show the pattern fidelity of curvilinear pattern, any curvilinear pattern. And finally, the conclusion is multi-beam writer has allowed customer to get away from the program shot count increase. And if it is regrettable if customer has to face the problem of figure count increase in MPC again. But the PLDC can set you free from figure count increase by moving MPC to inline Datapath because total pixel count is constant and can be estimated. And let us help redefining MPC flow to optimize the balance between figure domains work and pixel domains work. I'm not saying inline MPC will take care of everything. Some portion still it's better to be done on the figure side, figure domain side. So I'm proposing to revisit the MPC flow and optimize it again. And let us all get away from the figure count increase together. Thank you for your attention.